I have a question here that one of my students have asked me. It's an interesting question. It says that if alpha and beta are two zeros or two roots of a cubic equation of the form of x cubed minus x plus 1 equals 0, then we want to prove that alpha times beta will be one of the roots of this cubic, which is x cubed plus x squared minus 1. I'm going to assume that the first cubic, meaning this one, this first cubic could be factorized to x minus alpha, x minus beta, and x minus lambda. And so we're assuming that there are three roots here. If I expand this, so really I should have expanded this because I'm absolutely certain that you guys can expand this easily. So I'm going to multiply these two brackets, and I would get x squared minus alpha plus beta x, and then plus alpha beta, and then this has to be still multiplied into x minus lambda. And so once we expand this fully and simplify it, we would end up with an x cubed. I'm going to assume that you can do that yourself on that, but let me know. Send me a comment if you need this expansion to be done. But we would get something like this. So we get x cubed, and then a sum of the three roots with x squared, and then the sum of the product of the roots, alpha gamma plus beta lambda, x, and then the product of all three roots, alpha beta. This is actually gamma. This is lambda. Lambda is like this. So we got the three roots, but that's obviously one of the outputs that we will have, and this pattern we're going to use. But also there's another fact that comes about, and that fact is that if alpha, beta, and gamma are the three roots of this quadratic and of this cubic, then substituting those in there, so alpha cubed minus alpha plus 1 would be definitely resulting into 0. Beta cubed minus beta plus 1 would result into 0, and gamma cubed minus gamma plus 1 will also be equal to 0. This one is the one that I am going to use later on in my proof. So the question is asking, prove that alpha beta is the root of this cubic. Meaning if I put alpha beta into there, I should result into 0. But before we go any further, I'm looking at this section here, and I'm matching it with this section here. So that tells me that minus alpha beta gamma is equal to 1, which tells me that alpha beta is in fact equal to minus 1 over gamma. So instead of substituting alpha beta into this quadratic equation, into this cubic equation, I'm going to substitute the minus 1 over gamma into it. And so let's lock your view, Sam, to me. Okay. So we're going to substitute that in the cubic. And so let me write the rest of it in a different color. So it'll be minus 1 over gamma cubed. I'm substituting this value into the second cubic, plus minus 1 over gamma squared minus 1 equals 0. We want to prove that is actually equal to 0. So let's not assume that is equal to 0. Let's do some work on it and see if it would become equal to 0. So what I am going to do is to get rid of the brackets. So it'll be minus 1 over gamma cubed, and it will be plus 1 over gamma squared, and it will be minus 1. So is equal to, let's still not assume that it's going to equal to 0. From here, from this, I'm going to factorize a minus 1 over gamma cubed out of it. So when I do that, I get 1. So basically, if I factorize the minus 1 over gamma cubed out of this, it will leave us a 1, because I'm taking the same factor out of itself. And when I factorize a minus 1 over gamma cubed out of the second one, it will leave me with a gamma. And also when I factorize out of the minus 1, it will leave me plus gamma cubed. Now if you compare this with the fact that we had from the initial assumption of the question, this and this are the same thing, and we know that that is 0. So therefore, this is actually 0. So this, in fact, is equal to 0, and 0 multiplied by anything will result into 0. And we wanted to show that when we put the alpha beta, which essentially alpha beta, the product of alpha beta was equal to this. So we were going to prove that when we put the product into this new cubic, you will end up with a 0, and it did end up with a 0, which means this is the root of this new cubic, and if this is the root of the new cubic equation, then this which is alpha beta is also the root of this cubic. I hope you like this. I'll leave this video on our channel, and please, if you got any other questions, do leave a comment on my channel, and I will, surely enough, will answer it in time.